Hey friend, this is GM Jim here, and I want to talk to you today about a game I made, a tabletop role-playing game I made. It's called Knuckle Sandwich, and it is a thriller TTRPG. It's sort of based on the ideas of Dungeons & Dragons, but it's mostly based on my own fiction, the fiction of one Jim Heskett. I write thriller novels. Now, it's really important to note that you don't have to have read anything I've written ever in order to get this game or be able to play it. This is a game about car chases, gunfights, spy stuff, solving mysteries, detective stuff, all that kind of stuff you get from mystery and thriller novels, all those exciting ticking clocks and everything else like that. There are 4 character types. You can be a hero, an assassin, a hacker, or a scoundrel. These are based on my characters Lane Parrish, Serena Rojas, Harry Bukadakis, and Micah Reed. But like I said, you don't have to have read my fiction in order to be able to understand and play this game. All you really need are a game master and a couple of players. It's a simple game with only 4 stats: action, sneak, brains, and sway. Everything you do is going to be based on rolling one of those stats. And sort of like kids on bikes, your main stat gets a d12, then you get a d10, a d8, and a d6 for your other stats. So first you can be the hero, who's brawny, action-oriented, and has a special power. And that special power is that they get 4 health instead of the usual 3 that everyone else gets. You can be an assassin, like Ember Clark or Serena Rojas, and the assassin's special power is that they can use sneak for attack rolls, and they can also be better at resisting damage in combat. You can be a hacker like Harry Bukadakis in that you can use brains rolls for doing special things, like having contacts from the underworld who can help you out, or using traps and that sort of thing. The hacker is also able to use protagonist points, which are a special resource in the game where you can influence the difficulty of a roll. You can also be a scoundrel, which is the Micah Reed type. The scoundrel is the person who knows how to get things. The scoundrel is the charming rogue, as it were. And the scoundrel has a special ability to create flashbacks, which are sort of like what happens in Blades in the Dark. The main thing in Knuckle Sandwich is called the RC. That's the roll challenge, and the GM sets the roll challenge of either medium, hard, or extreme. And so you roll the relevant stats. So if you're a hero type and you want to use action to do something, you have to roll that d12 against either medium, hard, or extreme challenge. If you meet or exceed that number, you succeed. So it's obviously easier with your d12 die versus your d8 or your d6 die. Pretty much like the way Kids on Bikes does it. And so using protagonist points is a way for you to reduce the difficulty of that roll. So if you're doing an extreme challenge, you can spend 2 protagonist points to reduce the difficulty from an 8 to a 6. So it's easier to achieve that number with your d12, your d10, or your d8 die. And the hacker can use their protagonist points to heal other characters. So combat in the game is very simple. Everyone gets 3 health except for the hero who has 4. You can do minor injuries or major injuries. If you drop down to 0 health points, you go unconscious, and you'll need medical attention soon or you're going to die. There's an initiative system. It's very simple. Everyone rolls a d12. Whoever gets the highest goes first. Then you alternate sides back and forth until everyone is gone. You could do major or minor damage in combat. You also have the option to resist damage in combat. So if someone attacks you, the GM doesn't roll to see if the attack hits. The player rolls to see if they can resist the damage being done to them. Very simple inventory and gear system, and then there's more explanation of how flashbacks work. In case you're not familiar with Blades in the Dark, flashbacks basically allow you to go into the past to alter an event from the present. The example I use here is you're infiltrating a lair, you open the door, and there's a bad guy on the other side. The scoundrel can initiate a flashback to say go back the day before where he met the guard at a bar and paid him off to allow them entry. And you roll. If it works, then you get in. If it doesn't work, there's an additional complication. And then there's an extensive GM section that's several pages long, giving you some tables and advice on how to run the game, but I'm not going to show you all that because I want you to go get the game. And if you want to know where to get this very simple, very fun, rules-light, modern-day tabletop role-playing game, just look down in the description and I'll tell you exactly where to go get it. There's only one place in the world you can download it, So go look at the description for that link. Once again, I am GM Jim. I've made this game for all of you to enjoy, and if you run it, please let me know in the comments how it goes. I think it's a lot of fun. I've had fun in my playtesting of it. So go out there and enjoy it, and I will see you all on the flippity flip side.